What's up, guys? This is Nick at Stridewise.com. We look at casual durable footwear. I'm here with CJ Cook. CJ Cook is a fanatical boot collector.
That's right.
He has his own channel that's also in the description below.
Yep.
The man owns 60 pairs of Western boots.
Many boots.
And counting.
Yeah.
He's a truly dedicated fan. And one thing that I've always liked about Western boots is that this is a place where you're more likely to find unusual and exotic leathers.
That's correct.
Than, like, say, on city boots,
100%.
on Red Wing boots, that kind of stuff,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And one we don't have, because people are going to ask, you don't have ostrich, do you?
I do not have ostrich because I don't like my boots to look like they have herpes.
That's great. And so when CJ and I were talking about this video, and he told me he's got 60 pairs of Western boots, one of my first thoughts was, okay, how many exotic leathers do you got that we can walk through? And the answer is 4.
Yeah.
This one might be the least exotic, but we're deciding this counts as exotic.
We are. Yeah, exactly. So that would be elk butt.
We're not completely sure if this is elk from Scandinavia or from North America, but we can compromise and say it's Canadian. It's exotic.
It's exotic. Yeah. The one thing I love about it is that it can take a beating. If you know anything about a hide in an animal, being that it's the rump, that part, it has a lot of muscle. I beat these up a lot.
Okay, so elk is part of the deer family, but elk is bigger than deer, I believe. Yeah,
correct.
So they're, like, for instance, I've got some elk leather gloves, and deer leather is really popular for gloves because it's so soft. Because a lot of people don't like deer for boots because it's so soft. Perhaps the most coveted and beloved material for like dressy shoes and stuff is cordovan, which is a type of leather that comes from a horse's butt, and it's only the butt area because the butt area has particular sorts of fibers that tan in a particular way. It's all very complicated, but the point being that I know about horse butt. I know that's an extra strong part of an extra strong animal leather.
Correct, yeah.
I didn't know that elk butt is also strong. Is this like a butt thing?
Yeah, this is, it's getting lots of work back there, so.
This is natural?
It's toughening up, yeah, natural.
So it's natural undyed, so this is like the skin color.
That's correct.
With a bunch of wear.
That's correct.
Where did this come from?
This is Rios Mercedes.
And it's elk butt.
Yeah, and you can find these on Pinto Ranch.
Elk butt, I honestly haven't heard about it before. Is this pretty expensive as far as leather goes?
It's actually relatively reasonable for an exotic leather.
Last thing, how comfortable is this leather?
Super comfortable.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It wasn't like super stiff and tough? It's not just elk, but it's also butt.
It did not take very long to break in.
It's easy to want to say this animal is stiffer and less comfortable than that animal, like horse over cow and everything, but the way it's tanned and processed and tumbled and everything else, that has just as much to do with like how stiff it is. So you probably could make very, very stiff elk butt, I imagine.
Absolutely, yeah.
I imagine you can make really stiff and tough one, but it sounds like they tumble this to make it more comfortable, which makes sense because they wouldn't want customers
to make it easier for the customer. Okay, so the next exotic that I actually wear quite often, I love these boots. This is a Kudu. A lot of people don't know what a Kudu is, but it's like an antelope. This is a roughout, which roughout is king because roughout can take a beating. And I love these because, number one, the color. This dark.
This is a nice brown, yeah. One thing to note, for those who don't know, they might look at this and think it's suede because it's fuzzy. And it does look similar, but the difference between suede and roughout is like suede is when you get like a full grain piece of leather and you split it. That's why it's fuzzy because these are flesh fibers. Whereas with roughout, the flesh fibers are because you've taken the full grain leather, the regular thick piece of leather, and you turn it inside out. So this is the fuzzy that you normally see on the inside of a shoe, which you might be familiar with. Here are my Kudu boots on screen. This is from Grant Stone. I got some gray ones. Kudu is pretty well known. It's an antelope in Africa, man. Like it's got scratches from thorns and lions and all sorts of stuff all over it. Part of the reason that these leathers are less popular is true they're not farmed, so there's a little bit less of it on the market. But it's also the fact is, for wild animal leathers, a lot more often than not, it's got scratches and scars all over.
So that's a good point because the elk butt that we just showed you, if you look on Pinto Ranch website, you'll see in small writing that every boot is going to be different. And I've had people, because I did a review on my channel of the elk butt, and they say my boots don't look like yours because every hide is different, every animal.
Yeah, this is a living organism. No, they've had a different life. This has been an animal that ran around. That said, if you don't want scars and scratches on your boots, for one, you should probably get some cow or something instead, or you can get roughout, which flips it around. Almost all the time, if you get Kudu, it tends to come from CF stead. So that's in England, and hides come up from Africa. Another fun fact about Kudu dung spitting is a sport in South Africa.
Love that.
And it is what it sounds like. You see who can spit through the farthest.
The furthest.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which also makes sense because you would want to get it out of your mouth really fast, wouldn't you? CJ has a lot of boots from Rios of Mercedes, so you might think, because we're on the internet talking about them, that he gets paid by them, and no one.
I wish.
No one. Please do pay him.
Send me a free boot.
But like Rios doesn't even have a website you can buy this stuff off, so we can't make commissions from the link. Like this is really just organic. He just really likes Rios. This is like the brand he landed on. This is Cayman belly.
Cayman belly, yeah. So
All right.
Cayman belly is tough, guys.
It is a small
serious.
crocodilian. Is that
Yes.
the family's
Yeah,
crocodilian,
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it? I think Cayman tends to come from Colombia. What's it feel like to wear Cayman?
If you go to a store and try on a Cayman belly boot, it's important to know that it's not going to give much. So how you feel in the store is how it's going to feel for a while. A lizard will stretch.
Okay.
Cayman belly is not going to give too much.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
honestly, anytime you buy leather shoes, you really should find someone, a representative to talk to ask. Because it's not just, like we said, it's not just the animal, but it's also how it's tanned and everything. Will affect like if it's gonna stretch out or not.
Yeah.
You're often told like get it tight because it'll stretch out
for you.
But in other cases, like here,
Yeah.
this isn't gonna stretch out.
And-
very
and
much.
also-
this is armor plating. This is armor.
Yeah.
This is not even a mammal. Like it's a totally different game.
And it went through a lot of dyes as well. This
It's not
process.
even warm-blooded. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe you can even make leather out of.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
very, very.
That's
different.
why even like bullfrog. Like who's looking at a bullfrog? Being like, I want to make some boots out of that.
How many bullfrogs does it take to make
to make a pair of boots? I know.
It seems like pretty tough. It doesn't show wear
Oh
very
man,
much.
no, it's
A lot of people get shoes because they want them to age really quickly. Like kangaroo is a good example, or even natural undyed cowhides. Horse butt as well, natural
okay.
horse butt. People buy that because like it ages very quickly, and they like the look of that. It seems like Cayman, it's gonna look like the way it looks for quite a while.
yeah.
Which is a pro for a lot of people.
Yeah. And it's usually something that guys will wear as like a kind of like in a dressed up manner.
I get that it didn't stretch. Did it soften with wear? Like was it uncomfortable when you first got it and then it got better, or is it about the same the whole time?
It got a little bit better.
Okay.
It's tough. No, it's no lie. It's
Alright.
pretty tough.
Well, I think that's probably what a lot of people want to know.
Yeah,
They want to know.
yeah.
Okay, but is it really, really tough? Okay.
Yeah.
That's, believe it
Yeah.
or not, a crocodile. That's going to be crocodilian, I should say.
All right, the last one we're talking about elephant. There's some elephant boots here.
I cannot believe you got elephant leather.
Yeah.
Tell me everything about your elephant boots.
Okay, so I actually reached out to Rios Mercedes when I did the review on them just to say like, how did you guys source this elephant? And basically, it's just basically a culling, like overpopulation, whatever, inbreeding. The leather it's tough, but it's soft, and they are very comfortable.
How thick is it?
It's
I would assume it'd be like a foot thick or something.
yeah,
this leather.
I know. I'm curious like how much they're cutting off.
Oh yeah, they would have
thinning,
to
how they're
split it a lot.
thinning. You know?
Yeah, there's a bunch of like elephant fibers.
Yeah,
somewhere
but
that's been-
but the boot is really comfortable.
I was in Vietnam recently and I encountered some elephant leather, and I was instantly so outraged.
Yeah.
And I kind of stupidly I put a post on Instagram being like, "Look at this! Look at these bastards I found in Vietnam selling
Right.
poor elephant leather."
leather.
And pretty quickly I got some people saying, "Well, does it have a CITES certification?"
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
that's apparently what you meant to look for. It's CITES.
right. That's right.
They get like the rights to it. They got a lot of
Yeah.
paperwork to go through it, and I think there are some places where hunting them lets them get bred,
Yeah.
like that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's all a bit funny, but you are allowed to wear elephant leather with the right certifications.
Yeah.
And apparently they're really soft and comfortable.
They are very comfortable.
Cool. Is there anything else that's like you see a lot on? We mentioned bullfrog as well.
Bullfrog, yeah, that's pretty wild.
Are you missing anything? I think proper crocodile and alligator leather. You see that around a bit as well, because Cayman's not US, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that. But I think there are some people like I want.
There's
Western boots are so American. But
Right.
like I want American leather. I know that's why some people they'll get
There's
an alligator.
eel, stingray. They do anything,
there any skinny
any animal. They just
content?
look at and they're just like, I'm gonna make that a boot.
Yeah.
Maybe if we get to rat skin boot.
We got a few to spare here in New York. All right, that's our video on exotic and sometimes very domestic hides. But those are the most exotic hides that we've got here in front of us. Definitely subscribe to CJ's YouTube channel where he talks a lot about these in depth. If you see some boots here that you wish you'd seen more of, for instance, these bright turquoise ones, don't worry, your curiosity can be sated on CJ's channel. Meanwhile, subscribe to this channel if you just went up here, and I'll see you guys for the next video.
Be a boot.
Be a boot.